Hi, I'm Fred Wincher. I'm the president of TMG Loan Processing and Max Cash Title Loans. We are the company that handles your loan process, if you go through us, of course. When you fill out that application, the information will come over to our loan processors. Figured this would be a perfect time to bring us into the video so that you can find out exactly how to get this done. One of the most complicated ways and the most scariest things in filling out a title loan application and doing the process is, what's the lender going to ask for? What are they going to request? How do I get past that problem? Well, I happen to have three loan processors. These are the guys who actually do the work. These are the guys you're actually going to be talking with. And they're going to answer some of the questions. So if you'll indulge me, we'll go through some of the different, what's called stipulations, or the documents or the evidence that the title loan lender is going to ask for when doing this. We'll start out with the very first one. So, Mario, tell me a little bit about one of the stipulations that they ask for.
Hey, my name's Mario. I work with Tradition Media Group, and we're going to be talking about the title. Typically, what the lender is looking for in the title would be is if the vehicle is salvaged. So most of the time, it's going to be on the top right corner of the title. It'll say salvaged. That's usually in the event that the vehicle was like in a major accident, was rebuilt. A lot of times that will cut down the value, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get the loan. The other things they'll look on there for is if the title says and or. The difference between those two, the or would mean if there's another person on there with you, you would have to, they would either have to be removed from the title or they would have to be on the loan with you. If it says or, you can do it solely yourself.
What if a title is in another state that the lender is in? Is that allowed?
Typically, you would actually have to have that switched over to that state. However, different lenders have different procedures in order to help you obtain a loan.
Will the lender do it for you, or do you have to do it?
Lenders are different. All the lenders are different. No two lenders are the same. However, I would say that 90% of them will require that you do it yourself.
Okay, so the titles has to be in your name. Or in the name of you and somebody else. What if it's like in the name of a company?
If it's in a company name, it's actually dependent on the type of loan. But the majority of the time, if it's just a straight auto equity loan, you would actually have to switch that in your name as well.
Okay. Front and back is going to be required, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the easiest way to get that information over to us?
Usually just a quick snapshot or a scan. We have a lot of different options available to the customer, be it fax, email, text. But typically the easiest way is to use your smartphone, take a picture of the front of the title, and then flip it over, take a picture of the back of the title, and just making sure that everything's clean, clear, that there's no salvage title, there's no additional lien holders on there, or nothing is written or falsified on the back.
Well, I think it's a good idea that the consumer waits till we know, in fact, that the loan can happen before they go through all the hassle of doing that. But the reality is it just takes a minute, doesn't it? A minute or two to take that picture with your cell phone and then just send it over. You can actually text it over to us, and we can receive it that way.
Exactly, yeah. That's probably the easiest option. And if there's any issues with it, it'll take us just a few moments to get back to you and let you know how it needs to be corrected.
Okay, so we talked about the title.
Yes.
But that's just one thing. What's another thing, guys?
My name is Jean-Claude, and we'll talk about proof of income today. Typically, with most of the lenders, they are going to require, current proof of residency. Typically, it's within 30 days of the day's date that you're applying for the loan. There are a lot of exceptions for proof of income, letters of employment. You can have lenders call and verbally verify your employment and the income. So if there's issues you don't think you can get the loan, give us a call because we can definitely find a solution to your problem. And if not, there probably isn't one.
It's good. That's a very good point because we deal with 37 states and we deal with hundreds of lenders, and the reality of it is each one does it just a little bit differently, and we know basically every single type of way that they do it. So one call basically does it all. But you pointed out one thing that I want to bring up, and I think that our viewers are actually interested in. What happens if you can't prove income, or you don't have income, or is there income thresholds typically that you have to overcome?
Well, it really depends, again, on what type of loan it is you're obtaining. If it's a traditional auto equity loan, we can always initiate a cosigner for you if you have somebody willing to help.
Is there, I've heard this like a $1,500 or $1,200 or some number that you have to bring in per month?
It's typical. Each client it is different. It's at the lender's discretion.
And sometimes they take unemployment, or do they take
Oh,
that?
negative. Unemployment is not an acceptable form of income.
But disability.
Permanent disability will be, yes. It cannot be temporary. It does
Okay.
have to be permanent.
So there has to be some sort of proof of income,
Correct.
and there's multiple ways that that can be overcome.
That's correct.
Right. And the lender will typically be taking care of the majority of that verification, but we'll provide them with what they need to start that verification,
Correct.
saving a lot of time.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's excellent. Now, what's another stipulation that is typically asked?
Most lenders these days do require valid insurance and registration on the vehicle. Okay, now this varies from state to state and loan amount being offered. Most times we are able to put if insurance is required and you do not have it, we're actually able to put that in the loan for you and help you obtain insurance, in order to proceed with the loan.
Now, I've heard insurance. Is it just general liability, or is it comprehensive insurance? Is it basically just regular insurance, or do you need extended insurance?
Oh, you do not need full coverage. Any form of valid insurance is acceptable with the lenders that we work with.
One of the things that I see all the time in comments and chats is about references. People are worried about their friends and family being called, providing those references, and the amount of those references. So what's typical you see out there with the lenders? How many references do they usually ask for? What usually happens?
It's typically between 4 to 5. Dependent on the lender, some lenders don't even call the references. It's basically for security purposes. So more or less with that, it would be for filing needs. However, there are typically some lenders as well that also require that they do get a hold of a few of the references just to verify that they are actually, they actually do know the consumer. The one thing they don't do is put anybody's business out there. So they'll call them, but they will not explain to them exactly what they're doing. They just want to know if they know the person. So basically they're very discreet about this whole process because we do understand this is a very private matter for these people.
Vehicle pictures, and I've also heard recently that some lenders are asking for vehicle videos on top of it, which I think is challenging at best. So what's the typical requirements on vehicle pictures?
Okay, so typically for the vehicle pictures, the lender's looking for all four shots of the vehicle, all four sides. They want you to stand far enough back so each side can be clearly seen in the picture. They're looking for major body damage, anything that's out of the ordinary on the vehicle. They're not looking to see if it's dirty or minor scratches or dings. That's irrelevant to the lender.
And the dash, right? The odometer.
Yes, absolutely. It has to be verified, the mileage.
Okay. And do they have to take a picture of the VIN or anything like that?
That is accurate, yes. They cross-check the VIN number plate with the title to confirm that it is the same vehicle we're doing.
Okay, that's important. What about this video thing I'm hearing about?
Most of the time, if you are working with TMG, which is us, we are able to get the vehicle videos waived in, I would say, over 90% of cases because we have established strong relationships with the lenders that we work with. So we are able to get that waived. In certain circumstances, the lender will still require vehicle video. However, I have yet to get an exception on that as long as we are able to get the pictures.
I'm not sure if there's any other ones that we're missing in stipulations that they typically ask for. Is there anything that I'm missing?
Sometimes a lender might require proof of residency as well. While the most solid proof of residency would be a utility bill in your name, that's not always required. However, we could go as simple as 2 pieces of junk mail.
What if you're a roommate? What if you're living with your parents? Or what if you're living in a dorm? How do you do that?
We are able to use screenshots if you have any online accounts to like your gym or a cell phone bill. All we're looking for is your name, the physical address at which you reside, and a date.
One of the things I've heard about is Decision Logic. That this is a tool that a lot of companies are using. Interesting about Decision Logic is a lot of the stipulations that we are talking about, what they'll do is they'll actually, it won't go into your bank account as if you were doing it online. But what it does do is it goes in and looks at your deposits. It has the ability to look at that. And it also, by the way, verifies several of the different things that you talk about. Your income. It also will verify that you are who you are. So sometimes going through Decision Logic, you could waive a lot of those requirements that we're talking about. And Decision Logic is not the only one. There's other tools as well that lenders will use, not just that product, but other products. These are third-party products. They're not owned by those companies, but there's other ones that they can use in combination with each other to skip a lot of stipulations and do it quicker. So, guys, is there anything else, any other stipulation, anything hurdle that a customer has to face in the paperwork department?
Typically, it depends on what lender they use. Sometimes the final step before receiving the funds, you would have to FedEx the title off to the lender and obtain a FedEx receipt from the agent to receive your funds.
And they can use DocuSign now too.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really
So that can even speed up the process even more.
Correct. And the customer does not pay for shipping the title. The lender does pay for that. So there is no charge, there is no money up front in order to obtain this loan. If anyone ever asks you to send them a MoneyGram or money beforehand, do not do it. It is a scam.
It's a pretty big scam that's going on. You never have to put out your money for a loan. Please remember that. Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to do a little shameful self-promotion here and ask the guys one question, because I think it's important that you go through us, versus any other way. So you go through MaxCash, fill it out, and it'll go over to TMG Loan Processing, and you're going to get this. These guys are the ones talking to you. So you actually get to visually see, the counterpart on the other side of the phone. Guys, just any one of you.
Yes.
Why go to TMG Loan Processing? Why go to us?
Because we give you a personal human experience. We understand we do have to be professional, but at the same time, we take an accountability that nobody puts up their title for fun. They do it because it's a necessity, because there's something that they need to do. So we are understanding at that point. At that point, even though we have to talk numbers and get down to business, we're still two people having a conversation. We're two human beings having a conversation, and we will give you that human experience.
It's important. We also call back people when we say we're going to call them back. Stay in contact and give them multiple ways to do it. And we do this 7 days a week, which is rare for title loan companies. Some title loan companies actually look for our assistance in this matter. So, guys, any other feedback at the last minute?
I would just say give us a call. We could save you a lot of time and money of you searching for hours on the internet, not knowing if you're on a credible, legitimate website, not sure if a specific lender is credible or not. That's our job. We could do all that work for you.
Well, guys, thank you very much for your feedback. It's very much, I'm sure our audience very much appreciates this. It saves them a lot of time, a lot of aggravation. And by the way, our service is free. That's important. You don't pay a penny for it. It's advertising for the different lenders. They pay us through their advertising budget. So all this service and all this help, and these guys, they're doing this for you for free at no cost to you. So thank you very much. And please read the rest of how it works. There's a lot of good information inside of there, even a sample contract for you to take a look at. And you can actually look at the different specifics before you sign that dotted line and get that money. Know what you're getting into and make sure that you can repay that loan. Don't take out any more money than you need to. From TMG Loan Processing, you have a good night.